Welcome to Caldwell Courtside. I'm your host, Devon and I'm joined by my co-host, Makayla Frias today. And today we're joined by student athlete Kylie Waltermeyer. Please introduce yourself to the audience and tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I am a sophomore on the women's basketball team. I am from Tumwater, Washington, and I'm majoring in business. Perfect. Now to kind of get rolling into our conversation, we want to ask you, so what was it like growing up playing basketball and kind of how did you get into it? So I actually didn't start off playing basketball. I was a softball player for like the first 15 years of my life. And then my freshman year of high school, I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore and picked up a basketball and said, this is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. So, and I think there's part of me that enjoys that more. I know you hear about student athletes who get burnt out because they've been playing their whole life. Yeah. And like, I just recently found the love of the game. So I think that's kind of where I'm at, is like still enjoying the game as much as possible.
Yeah. Goes. And then coming off your freshman season last year, talk us through that. What was that like for the first time?
My freshman season was a little up and down. Kyle Erickson, it was his first year ever being a head coach, and we had 9 other freshmen with me, so we were just a really young team. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely some up and downs, but I wouldn't trade my freshman year for any other experience. I got to like connect and learn to grow with these people instead of already kind of be with a team that's grown up and I have to like kind of fit into a role. Mm-hmm. Instead, we all kind of got to grow together and figure out what our roles were going to be together. So yeah, absolutely. And so now that you've kind of transitioned into your sophomore year, tell us a little bit about how you've balanced academics and athletics. I actually graduate this year because I came out of high school with my associate's degree. Mm-hmm. And so my freshman year, I was taking like 300 level courses. And so that was a little overwhelming because in high school, yeah, you're taking college courses, but it doesn't seem like the same like rigorous level. Yeah. And so trying to balance that when I first came was definitely a struggle. And like the 6 a.m. waits and like your calendar and your time just looks a whole lot different. And so I think coming in this year and having the same coach and kind of having like the same setup and schedule, it's just been a lot more easy like to handle. And I kind of know what I'm getting myself into. So being able to manage my own time is a whole lot easier.
Nice. And then like with all that stuff going on, how does that define your guys' team culture? How does that like build around your team culture and like explain to us what your guys' culture is like?
So our culture is basically made up of 5 values that we came up at the beginning of the year. And that was grit, gratitude, growth, energy, and family. And those are kind of the 5 things we wanted to focus on coming out of season last year. And I think that's where most of our success has come from. Yes, we're having more success on the court, but that's truly because we had more success in growing the culture that we've wanted. Last year, it was kind of more of a process of what to think of when we do these things, that we really want to focus on them. And now it's more just like part of our daily like values. Like we don't have to think about it. It's something we do. And if, one of us steps out of line, our whole team is kind of there to be like, hey, like these are the values. This is the culture we're trying to build. Either buy in or don't. And I think that's kind of where we're at as a whole team. Absolutely. Kind of just as like a growing program, and definitely speaks volumes for what you guys are trying to create. And so you touched on it a little bit, but how do you think that's kind of played into your guys' early success this season? I think there was a lot of growth to be had, and I think that's kind of where one of our core values wanted to be growth, having a growth mindset, wanting to grow together, and realizing that it is a team and a family. Mm-hmm. And having that mindset when we're on the court is it's not one's individual success, but it's the whole team's success. And when people look at, our record, it's not, okay, well, this person had this, so this person won that game. No, it's, all right, the College of Idaho women's basketball team is this and this. Mm-hmm. It's not individual and it's not labeled to yourself. So I think taking that mindset and being willing to have grit together and grow together, feel like a family, and show gratitude for one another is really just kind of what's helped us this year. Absolutely.
Nice. And then so last year, a lot of freshmen on the team, like you said. Kyle Erickson's in his new tenure as a head coach of the College of Idaho. How has last season shaped this season?
Honestly, I think the fact that Kyle was a first-year head coach when we were all freshmen kind of gives us a special connection. We were really growing together. Everything was new for all of us. He was learning how to manage being the head coach and the planning and the traveling and all that stuff. And he's had amazing help with the men's team and with Cass this year. So it's been really good to have them around. But I just feel like being able to grow from the beginning of the year last year to now with him and all the new girls getting to do the same, just being so young was nice, honestly, with having a new head coach. Yeah. And then you guys had a really great start this season and kind of getting going. You guys have started really strong. So what are you looking forward to as conference play continues and into conference tournament? just to continue competing. I think there were times last year where it felt like, yeah, we might not be competing to the level we want to be. And it's not so much that other teams are beating us, but we're beating ourselves. And so I think going in with that mindset every day was that, yeah, if this team's better than us, we can tip our hats to them and be like, yeah, you guys showed up. But we don't want to beat ourselves. We don't want to dig ourselves into a hole and then shoot ourselves in the foot and not be able to come out of it. So I think going with the mindset of, yeah, we're better than you as a team. And we want to kind of prove that. And we don't really want us to defeat ourselves.
Yeah, you kind of have this like chip on your shoulder to prove it to everyone.
So for like some fun questions, like you said earlier, you're already about to graduate College of Idaho. What has been your favorite moment as a Yote?
Oh, wow, there's a lot of them. I think just honestly traveling with the girls. We have a really tight relationship, which is nice. And there's not a ton of us. I mean, there's 15, which kind of seems like a lot for a basketball team. But in the hindsight, like, there's only 15 of us. Like, that's your family while you're here. And so I think just getting to grow with them and just kind of be learning who they are off the court has been super fun. I mean, we asked Kyle, do you think other teams think they're like scared of us? Like, we're mean. And he was like, no, you guys are goofballs. Like, there's no way any other team thinks you guys are rude. Like, they probably don't even take you guys seriously because you're always laughing. And so I think just having that like joy and like love for each other is just huge.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And you may not know this question already, but kind of what are your plans for next year? Are you going to be staying local, staying Caldwell? Kind of what does that look like?
I don't know. With the new master's programs, it's going to kind of make my decision a little bit easier. It was hard to begin with because I didn't have no else to do with school.
Yeah.
And I love the girls and I love this program. So any reason for me to stay is good enough for me. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now.
Absolutely. And then kind of just to wrap up really quickly, what is some advice that you would give to future student athletes?
Honestly, I would just say buy into the whole process, buy into the school, buy into the community, and just kind of absorb it all because it's a really fast 4 years. I mean, some of us get lucky and have 5 or 6, depending on COVID and all that stuff. But take the 4 years and run with them. Don't take it for granted. Be grateful for what you have and understand that not everyone gets to do this. So take it all to heart.
Yeah. No, that's great advice. I mean, I got 5 years and that still went by 2.
Yeah, no, it flies for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kylie, so much for kind of talking with us and explaining a little bit about your season. We hope you enjoyed watching Yote Fam, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.